Today in class we began lesson 2 for Eureka Math, and here's kind of what we were looking at. And I'm kind of do a little review over what we had from yesterday's homework that leads up to this, and show you how to make your own place value chart. So what we're looking at tonight, there's some multiplying, dividing. So I'm going to review a little bit what that means, and we'll talk a little bit maybe about a couple of the word problems. So when you're thinking about place values, you've got a place value chart, and we know that in the middle of it all, or at one end or the other, depending on what your number's like, we've got a decimal. Next to the decimal, to the right, and also to the left, we have more place value locations. It's just me and my pen. It's going to be kind of wavy. So thinking about place value, and we know that if this is a decimal, everything over here is whole numbers. We also too know then if this is a decimal, everything over here is parts of a whole. So we talked in class today about the fact that we don't have onths, because then if it's onths, then what does that mean? Is anything actually broken up into 10 equal pieces, like in tenths? So we've taken a whole and we've moved it into 10 equal pieces, so it's tenths. If we break it into 100 equal pieces, it's hundredths. D-R-E-D-T-H-S, they all end in T-H-S. Thousandths is probably not going to fit very well. Thousand, T-H-S. And then over here you're going to have 10 thousandths, so we'll get smaller on that. Ones are wholes. If you have 10 ones, you have a 10. We also too have, if we have 10 tens, we have 100 ones. Hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And so some of the things that we were looking at today in class, if we had 256, and the math problem was telling us 256 divided by 10 versus if it's multiplied by 10. The students were able to kind of point and use their fingers to tell me that if you're multiplying by 10, that the numbers are going to gain. They had to do thumbs up to let me know they're going to gain, and then they had to hold up their fingers to show me they're going to gain one place value. If we were dividing, though, they know that that is also the same as repeated subtraction, and so if it's the division one, that number is going to lose a place value. And so the answers to this then become, they were able to do this out loud, if you are going to lose a place value, it goes from being 200 to just 25, and then 6/10. If you are multiplying, it's going to become 2,560. So that's something to kind of look at as you're doing tonight's homework, is thinking about how many place values is it going to move, and is it going to move in the positive, bigger direction? Is the number going to grow, or is the number really going to shrink in that case? And so thinking about that, we did it with tens. If they were hundreds, we talked about the magic pill. So if it's 100, it's like you have $256, you put in 2 magic pills, it's going to lose, sadly, 2 place values. And so you're going to end up losing these 2 whole place values, and they become partial place values. So it's going to become a 2, and then your decimal, and then 56 hundredths as a result. But if we were going the other direction, that 6 is going to go from the ones place, because it's being multiplied by 100, and become 600. And the numbers all travel together. So then it's going to go so that it's 600s. The 5 will be in the thousands place, and the 2 will be in the 10,000s place. And so it's going to be 25,600 as a result. So taking a look at what we have going for tonight's homework, like I noted, it's going to be these numbers. They're going to be analyzing, is it growing or shrinking by how many place values? You've got a couple of word problems on the back where they're thinking about, kind of deciding, is this person making a mistake or are they right? Also, too, thinking about the population of Canada in relation to the United States. So with that, I'm going to be showing you a couple of other ones. So this one, if we asked you, is this number going to get bigger or smaller? It's 36,000. Is it going to get bigger or smaller? You're multiplying. On this one right here, it's the exact same numbers, 36,000. This time you're dividing. Is it going to get bigger or smaller? So multiplying is repeated addition, so it's growing. If it's division, it's repeated subtraction. It's not growing. So think about that with each one of these. These two are the same, except for that part. These two are the same, except one is multiply, one is divide. These two are different. Oh wait, we've got a decimal in here, so these two are going to change. So be careful, these are decimals in the same place. These, they're not. These ones are just kind of some example problems. So if I know this is going to get bigger by 2 place values, I know that's 1 place value, and then so it's going to be 0.024. Because it's, oh wait, what am I doing? I'm getting smaller, huh? So this answer is going to go here. So if this one's going to get bigger, if the 4 is in the ones place now, it's going to be in the thousands place. So it will be 24,000. This one right here, if it's growing, the 4 is in the ones place now. The 4 is going to be in the thousands place. 540. I made an accidental 0 here. This one, we're dividing by 100, so the number is going to get smaller by 2 place values. So right now, if the 5 is in the ones place, it will be in the hundredths place. So 5, 4, 0, 3. To put the 5 in the hundredths place, it means the decimal has to go in front of the 4 so that the 4 is in the tenths place. Finding products. If you're finding products, that means they're all multiplying. We're using the exact same number every time, 14,560 each time, instead of it growing 1 place value, 2 place values, 3 place values. So think about where is everything going to land. And then describe is asking us to do that. So explain how you decided on the number of zeros in the products. So it already has a 0 on each one of them. And so in this case, if the 0 is in the ones place, I know the 0 is going to move to the tens place, and then we have an extra 0. So 6, 5, 4, 1. In this one, the 0, if it's going to move to the hundreds place, so the 0 is in the hundreds place, and we put zeros to acknowledge where is our decimal going to be, and then we go 6, 5, 4, 1. So it moves from being 14,000 to 1,456,000. This one right here, the 0 is going to land in the thousands place, and then the 6, 5, 4, 1, and the decimal has to then, if this is the thousands place, we have to fill in the blanks. The decimal will be there. How did we decide where they should go? Because we were looking at what's in the ones place and going, oh, now it's going to be in the tens place. This was in the ones place, it's going to be in the hundreds place. This was in the ones place, now it's going to be in the thousands place. Next one, finding quotients. Do what you just did, just the opposite. So it's going to become smaller. If the 6 is in the ones place now, it's going to be in the tenths place next. Now it's in the tenths place. This one, if it's going to be in the hundredths place, because we're dividing. So our decimal, a 0, this becomes in the tenths place. The 6 goes in the hundredths place, and then the 5. All right, explain how we decided on that. We analyzed if this is in the ones place, we're dividing by 100, it will then be in the hundredths place. If the 6 is in the ones place, we're dividing by 10, it will be in the tenths place. Ted says that 3/10, let's see what 3/10 looks like. 3/10 multiplied by 100 is equal to 300 thousandths. So we have to go to the thousandths place. So 0, 0, 300 thousandths. We could do that. So now, if we multiplied this by 100, if it's in the tenths place now, it's going to gain, not lose, place values. That's where the error is. So multiplication means gain in place value. Alaska has a land area about 1,700,000 square miles. Florida is much smaller than that, 1/10 the size of Alaska. So if you have Alaska, I'm just going to draw it as a box just because. If this is Alaska and it's 1,700,000 square miles, then Florida is only 1/10 of that. So I'm going to make 9 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines. Kind of messy, not even. But Florida is only 1/10 of that. So it's going to be way smaller. 1/10 of that size. So if we say that this is going to get divided by 10, it's only 1/10 of that. 1/10 of that. And so if we divided it by 10, we know it's going to lose a place value. But then, does that really give us the answer? What do you think? If it goes from 1,700,000, this would put us 170000. Our comma would be here. So it's going from 1,700,000 to 170,000. That seems a lot smaller, doesn't it? Because that's not even 500,000, and this is more than 1 million. It's way close to 2 million if it's 1,700,000. Something to think about. So, explain how we found the answer. So I'm going to label this Florida. And what happened was we reduced size by 1 place value. Can we say we divided? I think so. So we divided by 10. All right, that's lesson 2.